Welcome to Crescent City with your hosts Natalie Jean and Jackie Zabrowski.
Okay, I had to at least throw this on quick. I'll do it for the pictures, but he has talons whenever he's a merman. So I feel as though like he should be wearing talons right now, but obviously they're not made for using a computer. They won't.
Why don't they make talons that you can use your computer with?
Or why don't they make MacBooks that are for mer people?
You know what?
In 2025?
I feel like we should really be championing this. I feel like it's not fair that the other people outside of the human race in these books, can the Malakim, can they open up their phone with just their face?
I don't know. It seems like all of the tech is for humans and not for the Malakim.
Interesting.
And not for the veneer.
Interesting.
And I'm just making a point, okay? I'm just bringing it up, and maybe we need to address it.
Thank you, brave. This is brave.
Thank
of
you.
her.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Especially while you're dressed as a merman.
I am a bit of a merman. I need to make some alterations a little bit, but I'm pretty.
What do you mean?
Pretty happy with the suit.
Oh yeah, perfect merman.
You know, it's this line. I wish I could hide the neckline.
You wish you could cut your neck off so
that
it would fit.
I wish I could slit my throat.
No, Natalie, no.
I don't wish that.
No, I don't wish that.
Okay, I have to take this off, but I'll wear it for the picture.
Thank you. I just appreciate that you are dedicated to your craft.
Look at my stripes.
They're great stripes. They're amazing stripes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that
You
compliment.
look very good. Show it off. I mean, when you've got a 19-pack like that, I feel like that is hard work that deserves to be rewarded.
Thank you.
Reward you. I reward
Thank you. Thank you. I worked really hard on these cotton-based abs. So I didn't actually make this or anything. I don't know why I'm pretending.
I know, but I was going to
this.
let you, you can say whatever you want as far as I'm concerned. If you want to pretend like you made it, then, I mean, you're that strong. I shouldn't argue with you.
Yeah.
If you've got 19 ab, then I think that you are the one that will win every argument.
That's what I've been told in school.
Yeah.
I have to also, though, say I'm ashamed to admit that my fins are the wrong color. And that's
I was
me.
going to puke everywhere when you walked in because your fins are the wrong color.
It's not the right color for him, and it's not his color, and I'm sorry.
I guess we'll allow it for now just because we can't see it under the table. But you wait for when we take those pictures for us to post, Natalie.
I guess maybe I can Photoshop it the right color.
You better, or I'm going to be too busy puking.
I thought you were going to say I better not so that everybody knows. But it did it wrong.
No, I want you to experience the freedom of having the tail be the color you need it to be.
Oh, thanks.
You're
I feel
welcome.
seen.
Thank you. Maybe it's just because I'm a hot mom.
You are a hot mom. I knew who you were immediately when you came in.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Because you knew I was a hot mom. I
know that Therian would be all up on Ember right now.
Oh, yes. I am a mother that shows off her tits.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ember is hot enough that she would be the mom that all of Bryce's friends probably wanted to fuck.
Of course.
I mean, look at Bryce. Look at where she comes from.
I'm not arguing. What did you say you thought you were mom from where? You said you're
Santa Fe. I've got this I feel like she's the kind of mom that also knows how to do ceramics and stuff like that, and she'll come out and be like, "Oh, hey boys." And she's covered in soot from I don't know.
But she's not being creepy about seducing the boys.
No, she's just
effortless. Existing, and they're just
And that's how I feel in this wig.
I agree.
Technically, she does just have long, dark hair, and that could have just been my hair. But then it's this
sometimes
to me is Ember.
You need a wig to become somebody.
Yes.
You know, you got to you got to metamorphosize.
Yeah, it's let me think about kissing old daddy. Oh, baby daddy. I guess not baby daddy. Just
Dad has stepped up.
Dad has stepped up.
I could have also just worn my hair for Therian, but I didn't. I have the color of the right color hair, and I felt like it wasn't him.
When you've got the wigs, use them.
I got wings.
Yeah, they're multiplying.
Oh, that's a different song I was singing.
Oh, you were singing different.
I was singing legs.
Legs?
And she knows how to use it.
Oh.
You went the Grease route.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you got a lip.
Ah!
Now it's up higher.
Ah!
It's like now in the like.
Ah! Thank you.
Got it.
God, I hate having lipstick on my teeth. Thank you for telling me because I would have been very upset.
Yeah, I want people to tell me if there's a thing happening, you know?
Yes, always. I'm usually that person. It's like something stuck in your teeth, the tag is sticking out. It's like we don't have to be ashamed of these things.
People are going to be more upset if you didn't tell them ultimately.
We've got to talk about these things. Sometimes you've got something in your teeth. It's not shameful.
Also, yeah, I think Henry sometimes doesn't notice the things I do, and so he won't tell me, like, my eyeliner's been smeared across my face for 6 hours, and I'm like, why? And he's like, I just thought it was makeup, I don't know.
You're beautiful. I don't know, I see that you're beautiful.
It's very sweet. It's in a nice way.
Sure.
It's not like where he's being, like, dismissive. He's just like, I just think you look really nice. And I'm like, thank you.
You know my eyeliner.
You're being toxically supportive.
How dare you?
No, I would prefer it. I want him to be nice.
He's very nice.
Uh-oh, mommy time.
Uh-oh, I'm here and my tits are here and Hunt knows it.
So that's where we left off, if you recall. Bryce and Hunt were about to do a phone chat, a video chat with the parents. We left off. Ember had just heard Bryce offer to get Hunt drunk in order to meet them.
Oh my God. Always check to see if mommy got on the call early.
I know. I mean, I feel like she did it on purpose.
I mean, also, it seems like it's like she's used to getting the Bryce Adelaide Quinlan from her mother.
Oh, she is.
Even though she's a hot mom, she still has rules.
I think Bryce, like, kind of enjoys the back and forth, like, the bickering with her mom. It's maybe how they show affection for each other.
Well, I
think, like, Bryce has a hard time with showing love.
Yes, she does. And that also goes to show in their relationship between Bryce and Hunt as well, because it is very, like, jocular and kind of like slap you in the back of the head because I've got a crush on you kind of thing.
It is. Even with Danika, she notes how they didn't say I love you to each other normally, and they didn't have that kind of deep, like, sentimental friendship, but there was still tons of love there.
Yeah.
Just like they're a thing. So that's sort of what it seems like with her mom. And we're with Hunt's POV at the start of chapter 56, and he is taking in Bryce's mom and stepdad.
Yeah, he's taking in a couple of lumps down to the south.
Listen, he is being more mindful than maybe you're suggesting.
I couldn't imagine meeting the two of them. I'd be like,
So he does immediately acknowledge that she is very beautiful. And she has black hair, which I always have such a hard time picturing.
I want her to have red hair. Her name is Ember. It breaks my brain that I looked twice to make sure, because in my brain also she has red hair.
Yeah.
And because she's Bryce's mom. And but then it makes sense that she gets the red hair from the Autumn King.
But then I was like, oh, that's so strange to think of black hair and red hair in the same family. And I'm like, oh, wait. My husband and my sister-in-law have red hair and black hair, and your mother has brown hair.
Yeah. So, it takes all kinds in a family. Oh, those genetics.
Oh, they all get mashed in there.
Bouncing about.
So she obviously gets her red hair from her bio dad, but it's such a different color. But I kind of wonder if there's going to be a reason that her hair is such a distinctly different color.
Has to be. I feel like, and I don't know if it's just because of the extra Ember chapter we got.
Yeah.
Later on, and obviously we're not getting into that right now.
Way later on.
Way later on. I just feel like there's so much missing with the story of Ember, and I know we're going to get it.
We're going to get some.
I just don't, it's got to be in the next Crescent City, I imagine.
Especially because it's weird that she and the Autumn King even met in the first place.
Well, because that's the whole thing. And the fact, like, someone brought up, I was reading as I was looking into Ember for this costume, someone brought up, which I didn't even realize, and I'm probably jumping way too far into the future, but I want to bring this up while I'm thinking about it, that it's always described in the scent of Ember as well as the Autumn King that like they have similar scents. And so someone has posited that were they mates and that's why he was so feral when she left him with the baby. And that she broke the mating bond.
Whoa.
So, but like, isn't that crazy to think of like a mating bond between a full human?
So is she a full human?
Dunno, but we're not gonna find out today, y'all. No, because we're just meeting the parents.
Yeah, can you like think about how much happens between now and that bonus chapter?
As I was saying it, I was like flashes of like plot. And it was like, oh my God, and then that happened, and that, oh my God, yeah, and there's that. But it's like, okay, Jackie, we're still in the first book.
If you haven't read the other books, you're not even gonna it's gonna blow your boobs off.
Butts and boobs.
Where this story goes.
Yeah, dude.
Wild. Okay, so she does, in fact, have freckles like Bryce, which, wow, with black hair and freckles, are you kidding me? Stunning.
I die.
I found this piece of art of the two of them. I don't know who did this art, so I can't credit them, but we are looking at it right now. And
Mamma mia.
My God, they're both so hot in
Want
this
to watch
illustration.
Yes.
Jesus.
Good Lord.
Oh, and I have to say that when I was like looking through stuff on Reddit for this episode, someone on Reddit had pointed out that Randall's last name, Selago, is a sort of shortened slang in Spain that means bat.
Whoa, that's awesome. Awesome. I'm sorry, I burped in the middle of it. Awesome.
Yeah, there's apparently a municipality in Spain called Selago, and that it's referencing the bat.
Hell yeah, it sounds like a sexy part of Spain.
But does that have something to do with the Illyrians?
Oh, ooh la la, I like that. Man, every time I think of a theory, I just feel like in my brain I can watch the Rolodex of like how that could work, how that could lay in. You know what I mean? That
oh
makes
my
sense.
God! What if Wings just like he grows them as an adult man? There's hope for all of us. We might all be Illyrians,
guys. We can't just be regular humans, right? Right. Just making disgusting. I
get why people get obsessed with things like flat Earth or even just like, you know, the weird heavens that exist in religions. Because you're just like, come on, there's something, right?
Right.
I mean, listen, I love Earth. I think Earth is fucking amazing. I love being here. But like, nobody has magic powers. Are we just saying nobody has magic powers?
It's gotta be somewhere.
Come on.
I just think that they're immediately hidden. I feel like they're taken away. I feel like we don't get to meet those people. That's why I hope you never find out you have powers, because then they're going to try and bury you.
Oh, God.
I will find you, Natalie.
You.
I will find you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Samesies.
Thank you. Oh, my God. I hope that my magic starts coming out soon.
What if it comes out of your vagina?
No. Oh, God. It was my period the whole time.
Oh, man.
Your period is magic.
I think that they have recently discovered that they're using menstrual blood to discover new, this is something I've only vaguely looked at, so I'm sure I'm correct. And take it as scripture. Don't
Scientist,
check.
Natalie, yes.
That they're being able to use it as healing. They're like making new medicines with it. And I think that people were so misogynistic in our society for so long that they were just like, ew, period blood.
Rather not.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We'll see. Maybe we are magic.
Think about that.
Randall sits into frame as, after Ember's given this like berating. Randall also comes in as they're doing all their greetings. And Bryce lights up, calling him dad. Hunt has already established that he knows of who her stepdad is because he's a famous sharpshooter. And now we also see that Randall is filled with recognition as he gazes at, quote, Athy, which is how she's referred to him to her mom, who still doesn't acknowledge really who he is. It's not necessarily a welcoming gaze coming off of Randall when he realizes, oh, this is Hunt Athalar, not some dude named Athy. But he doesn't mention it right away. Instead, he acknowledges that they were stationed in the same place at the same time, and it sends Hunt into a barrage of memories of war. Because they're basically war veterans kind of greeting each other in a way. And Bryce seems to see Hunt sort of going into PTSD mode and takes his hand underneath the screen. So the parents can't see, but she's like taking his hand underneath. She can tell. She's like really attuned to him.
Oh my God.
Moments later, Hunt notices that Ember is wearing a pendant like Bryce does, but hers is silver and 2 triangles with a circle compared to Bryce's Archesian amulet, and he notices that it's this is a symbol of the union of Solus and Chthona. And we don't know why at this moment, but we will learn probably why she's wearing that very shortly. Before there can be more war talks amongst the males, Ember wants to know about why this hulking, beastly man is living in her impressionable daughter's apartment.
Yeah.
Hunt,
I bet she wants to find out.
She's like, what are you doing?
What's going on over here? Interesting, big, thick man. It's not like she knew what Hunt Athalar looked like.
Also, I think probably she's got mom dar on where she can see the sort of like body language between the two of them, even though Bryce is acting like he's just some guy, like has to like
but also the fact that she like holds his hand underneath the screen, you can't see that, but it's like that's something that is usually like shown in other ways.
I'm sure Ember's like side-eyeing the two of them, being like, yeah, he's your roommate.
Okay.
So Hunt explains to Ember that, you know, the arrangement that we already know about, that he's there because they're both working on this thing for the Ox, and they leave some stuff out, but mostly are being honest. The parents don't buy that.
No.
At all. They're like, okay, sure. And Bryce and Ember kind of bicker back and forth during this in a jovial way.
Oh my God, like a Gilmore Girls kind of way.
They're being a bit of a Gilmore Girl.
I definitely see them in a Gilmore Girls fashion, and that goes out to my other Gilmore Girl bitches out there.
What's up, Stars Hollow bitches?
What up, rise up?
So they're continuing their like back and forth, and Hunt and Randall are kind of watching it. Randall confirming that the two of them tend to be this way 24/7.
Ember's eyes danced with devilish delight.
Does Athy know about JJ? Hunt, she's just like torturing her daughter.
I love their friendship. I love their relationship. The like Bryce
cute.
And Ember's relationship is so adorable to me, and I think that like Sarah writes it so well that it does make me feel like a relationship that I would love to have.
Oh, totally. So when Ember asks this, is obviously to tease and kind of torture Bryce, but Hunt panics for a moment, thinking that she's referring to some dude, and he doesn't like maybe even realize he's gonna have the reaction, but he like kind of goes like, "Who the fuck's JJ?"
Which
he's
is
totally
really cute.
He is like, you can tell by his thoughts at this point, he is obsessed with Bryce.
Yeah, dude.
Like he went from being like very standoffish in his thoughts to he's like head over heels with her right now.
Yeah, dude. Really paying attention. And can you only imagine if he found out then that she had a boyfriend?
Ugh.
He'd flip.
Oh, he'd be so bummed. He'd probably go sit on the roof and cry.
I bet. And he'd probably like dial my number. And I'd be like,
oh, Ember or Jackie?
Jackie.
Okay.
Or Ember. I mean, again, I'll watch either tape. If it's of me or of me acting like Ember, I'm fine with it. We can make dreams become a reality hunt.
So,
am I scary?
I mean, it wouldn't even be that. Well, no, it'd be super fucked up. But like, because she hasn't been intimate with Hunt yet, it's not like you guys have both, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like only kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
So he realizes quickly that Ember's talking about Jelly Jubilee and not a man. Even though it seems Ember has put together that Hunt is the Umbra Mortis, she kind of waves over that. And she starts prodding him for information about himself. She just want to know his credentials and all the stuff he has to do for his job. She's like, who are you?
She wants to know about him because she's a good mother.
Yeah, she's either trying to be supportive or be analytical and critical of him.
And be nosy, definitely nosy.
Yeah. She pushes to know, again, why he's living there. And the two of them, again, insist it's for work reasons.
Okay.
Randall tries to silently signal Ember to back off, but she's like, no, I will not. Hunt insists
Hell yeah, Randall, you can't control Ember, all right? She's a flame. You can't control her.
It is interesting, again, her name is Ember in the Autumn King thing.
Right?
It's interesting.
And the fact, it's why it breaks my brain that she doesn't have red hair.
Yes, again, also, yes.
If you look, like, I feel like you look at an infant that comes out of a person that has a bright red hair and you're like, that's Ember.
Yeah, I had a friend who would like bright ass red hair growing up whose name was Autumn because she was born with red hair. Yes. And they're like, that's the season that she looks like. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Hunt insists that no, he really is here, and then kind of compliments Bryce in front of her parents, which is very cute. That Bryce is actually very helpful on this mission. She's been this really important asset, and that's the reason why they're kind of bunking up. At this point, Ember sort of does a mom thing and kind of belittles Bryce. And Hunt can feel her hurt because she kind of dismisses this and goes, she calls her merely, quote, an assistant antiquities dealer, which is kind of shitty. Yeah. But like a very mom thing to do. You're just like, Jesus.
Imagine, too, that she probably thinks so highly of her daughter that she probably assumes that she could be shooting a lot higher.
Yeah.
But also not including the trauma that she's experienced and how that oftentimes will stunt a person from moving forward and trying to gain traction with their life. So I feel like Ember is also like trying to do like the nudge of a mom of like, you know, you could be more than that.
Yeah.
Which is, it's like lay off. She's going through a lot and she has been through a lot. But, you know, a mom's gonna mom.
Mom's get a mom. Randall encourages Ember to change the subject, and though Bryce and Ember are still semi-tense, they change the subject over to start talking about Ember's pottery to like move away from the touchy stuff.
Just Randall behind her and just when time goes
Well, you know they're doing that.
Oh, yeah. And he ain't a ghost in this. He a full-fledged human being. So they're gonna fuck.
Yeah, so then they bang probably. Is the end of that. So we cut over to Bryce in the same scene.
Bryce knew her mother was a brewing tempest. Hunt was kind to them, friendly even, well aware that her mom was now on a mission to figure out why he was here and what existed between them.
He did good. So from her POV...
That's a lot of pressure.
Well, yeah, I love the sentence, Bryce knew her mother was a brewing tempest.
I love that. But also, like, he probably didn't have to go through this with Shahar. And if you've never really sat and had to have, like, a meeting of a parents conversation with a significant other, it's real pressure-filled.
Well, in any case it is.
That's
like,
what I'm saying,
even if you've done it before.
Yeah, that's true, yeah, even if you've done it before. Because it's a new parent, new situation.
I didn't meet your parents at Christmas. Which is a tense time.
It was, yeah.
No, but it wasn't. It was fun. We had a fun trip. We drove down.
We drove from New York in traffic.
Yep.
Yeah, that wasn't the best choice we've ever made. But you know what? What a fun time we had trapped in the car together.
I thought it was a good time.
Yeah.
I had Waffle House for the first time. Isn't that nice?
God, don't even bring up Waffle House to me. Natalie, why'd you do this to me?
I'm hungry.
Now I want Waffle House, Natalie. I want them scattered. I want them smothered. I want them covered.
Your boobs?
Yeah.
With waffles?
Can you scatter them on the grill? I don't think they will, even if you tip them. Although, I don't know. I haven't asked.
She listens to Hunt and her mom debate Sunball after they move this conversation away from the tent stuff. And Hunt inquires and Randall kind of explains about his organization that he has that helps traumatized human veterans. So they're just kind of learning about each other.
Randall's a good man.
He's a good man. They're all having a pretty easygoing time when Hunt turns full traitor.
Hunt?
He asks Ember if she's tried to persuade Bryce to get her leg scar looked at.
Bryce froze at exactly the same heartbeat as her mother.
Turns out Mommy didn't know about it. And Hunt, he probably knew this. He probably intentionally did this because he knew that she hadn't told her mom. Bryce tries to brush it off, but Hunt goes for the jugular. She's still limping from 2 years ago, Mama. Probably Venom's still in there, too.
Man, and it's like speaking to Bryce from one person that has daddy issues to another person that has daddy issues, this would make me slip out of my seat. The fact that, like, I'd be so angry with him, but I'd be like, but also it's like, I know what you're doing and I see what you're doing. And also, I hate that you're trying to take care of me, but also, I love that you're trying to take care of me.
It's probably bringing up a lot of feelings in her at the moment, and she seems outwardly aghast by it.
Because that's crazy to talk, because, like, in my brain, Bryce and Ember talk all the time, and that she does leave good, like, big chunks of her life out of their conversations. And, like, I definitely used to have that relationship with my mom where I definitely kept a lot more out of the conversation because I just didn't want her to know about it. And then I kind of grew up and stopped doing things that I was ashamed of all the time. And then I realized, like, oh, I don't have to lie about what I am or what I do to my mother anymore.
Yeah.
I guess this is growing up.
I mean, I think it's pretty, I don't think you need to tell your mother all the things that you do.
No, I'm not talking about, like, the slip-ins, you know what I mean? I ain't talking about that. We don't have that kind of relationship.
I mean, even in, like, some of the bad things you do, it's okay. You don't have to tell them everything. It's all right.
No.
But it's nice that you got to a point that you are wanting to share it and not being like, I need to confess these sins to her.
Right.
So Bryce is pretty peeved. She calls him an asshole in front of the parents, which seems to alarm both of them as he is the Umbra Mortis. And all. But he knows what he's doing bringing this up. He just kind of laughs and says casually, hey, if she doesn't do something, she's going to go through the drop and then she's going to be like that for eternity. So maybe we need to talk about it.
Okay, Daddy Hunt.
Okay. Bryce insists she will not take an appointment if her mom sets one and closes the laptop.
Oh, man.
Cut over to her mom calls back minutes later and we're with Bryce. By then, Bryce is in her room. Her mom isn't angry, but she's firm. She warns Bryce to be careful around the angels, specifically Hunt and Micah Dominus. Bryce argues back and kind of says, I'm not a baby, but also, yeah, Micah is an angel and they're scary, but he's better than the other ones. And Amber's sort of like, that doesn't really
mean anything
much. And during this argument, Ember kind of gets vulnerable and reveals that it's triggering because she sees her daughter with an older veneer male and it's reminding her of her experiences with the Autumn King. Bryce is flooded with guilt at her mom's admission and wishes she could, reach to the phone and hug her. Her mom apologizes for being critical of her, but tells her that under no uncertain terms that she was making an appointment for Bryce and that she will go to it.
Mom's got a mom.
And she also digs into she knows whether or not Bryce will admit it. She doesn't need to live in suffering in order to honor Danika's life.
Right.
And before Bryce can even snap back at that, her mom just hangs up. Because she knows, Bryce is going to, freak out, but she's like, I know this is why you're doing this. Bryce is like, no, but, she knows. Chapter 57, Bryce is getting ready for bed, and Hunt knocks on the door. This is right, after all of this has happened. Mm-hmm. She shouts at him, calls him a traitor. She's not really angry, but she's just like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. Hunt pushed off the door and approached. The room became too small with each step closer. Too airless. He stopped at the foot of her mattress.
I'll go to the Medwitch appointment with you.
Which is cute.
It is very cute. When he asks why she doesn't want to go, she finally just kind of unloads. So even though she's kind of mad he accomplished what he was going for, which is her telling the truth, she says, healing this wound means Danika and the devils are fully gone. It's like this weird souvenir or memento of this most fucked up memory of all time, really. I mean, she walked in on her friends, like, mutilated in her bed.
In her own home, yes.
So, that's a lot. So she thinks about this scar and this pain as almost a lifeline to them, which I do understand.
Sure.
She thinks, like, if she heals it, they're going to disappear. It's going to evaporate the memory of them.
But also it makes sense that she hasn't shared this truth to her yet, because like once you say that aloud, it's like, oh, it's why verbal processing helps so much. Because you say that aloud, and it's like, oh, that's silly. But in your head, it makes sense. So you don't want anybody else to know what your reasonings are, just because then you can protect yourself better.
Yes.
Because she knows that that's not the way it should be.
Right.
But man, we can be so good at lying to ourselves.
And to hold on to like our bad habits or our traits that aren't helpful to us. Like the fear of releasing those and letting those go is really scary, but it's like always better. And then it's like always better when you release them.
Yes.
It's so weird how we fight against that so much. He tells her, you know, that's not the case, which is, you got to say it, but obviously, like, I know it's easier said than done.
Of course.
And she tries to turn away from him.
Bryce shook her head, looking toward the window, but his fingers closed around her chin. He gently turned her face back to his. His dark, depthless eyes were soft, understanding. How many people ever saw those eyes this way? Ever saw him this way?
So, yeah. They're in her bedroom, guys.
Ooh. And his eye just, it's like we're, he just met the parents. It's got to be very, very difficult. That's why even earlier when, too airless, when it's like he comes into her bedroom and how airless her room becomes, because like, God, your crush walking into your bedroom while you're laying on the bed, doesn't matter how old you are, that definitely can knock the wind out of you.
Oh yeah, because bed's where sex happens.
Sex,
and only in the bed.
Yes, never anywhere else. Lord knows you could get chicken pox.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is that the threat? Is that what happens?
Maybe
dirty floors.
No, wait. The bed bugs are in beds.
Oh God, not in the beds.
Fleas. You get fleas.
Yeah, from all your trash bangs.
So he explains that he's kind of just trying to translate for Bryce because she can't. It's too close to her, Ember's feelings, and she's like, I know that your mom just can't think about you in pain. It's like something she can't bear as your mother. And then he timidly adds that he can't bear the thought of it either. He offers her his friendship in this moment. She's very clearly moved, but teases him, telling him they've been friends since he, quote, thought JJ was a dildo. She invites him to sit on her bed with him and watch TV. And the restraint that they have. Sheesh. Woo. Couldn't be me.
Could not be me. After all those cock blocks, I don't know, man. Like, at this point, in reading the book the first time, I just remember I was vibrating.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just like, they must.
But they don't.
Don't.
They talk as they sit next to each other, Bryce telling him the story of how Ember and Randall met. Omitting the Autumn King still. He's still not aware that the Autumn King is her father.
Right.
She explains that Ember ran away from the Biodad and sought safety from a temple for Chthona, probably hence why Ember wears the amulet. But Biodaddy was furious that Ember had run away with his new offspring. The priestesses couldn't physically fight off the thugs that she knew he was going to send their way. So Ember took baby Bryce to another temple called a Soulless Temple, where Randall was about to swear his vows to become a sun priest.
What?
He was tasked with driving them to safety in the territories of the House of Earth and Blood, because even the Autumn King can't touch them once they're on these other lands of a different house.
And she saw Randall and was like, you want to be a priest? Come on, baby.
Do you think that he was like really not interested and she just kept seducing him?
I mean, how could it, with the way Ember looks in my brain, I would do anything for this woman. But I love a MILF.
Oh, sure. Randall, having sought to be celibate, I guess they don't actually say that, but it's implied
With
that
the
he
priest,
was, that he was disturbed, like mentally ill from the trauma of the war, and he didn't know how to handle it. And so he said, I'm going to go like try to like, I think maybe he wanted to like fix his soul in some way. Like he felt the guilt of what he did.
And put a stopper at the end of his penis.
That's how you make it up. And that's what they do when you become a priest.
Right? Like a wine. Like
they have they go.
Like a cork.
Boop. Whoop. They suck it up. And so he is about to do this. And then he's tasked with like taking them over to the House of Earth and Blood. And obviously over that trip, which I imagine we might hear about at some point, he obviously got the major hots for Ember and decided to live a life of that ass instead.
Nice. I mean, how could you not? And she was a damsel in distress, and he was just, ready to take care of her.
And the baby needed a new daddy.
I need a new daddy.
The dad who stepped up. Even though her bio father still attempted to infiltrate the passage of Ember and Bryce to the House of Earth and Blood. So there was a whole thing we have never seen of a shootout. There was a big battle that went on because the Autumn King tried to steal them back before they could get to the House of Earth and Blood.
We have to get this fleshed out at some point, right?
I imagine.
Get this,
well, especially because now that we have a bonus chapter where we're with Ember's POV,
right?
We're gonna get her memories, I imagine.
God, I can't wait. I love Ember.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can tell.
No,
guys.
I do. I love her too. But they make it. Randall, basically, Bryce alludes that he killed some of the Fae, and they made it over the border to the House of Earth and Blood, and they became safe for a time. Hunt tells her, after she's done telling this story, that he's glad that something worked out for two good people. Bryce realizes in this moment that she and Hunt are laying in her bed, and just this morning, they almost went full at it in the kitchen. She's like, gulp, and asks if he wants to watch TV with her. I don't think she's ready to face the strong ass feeling she has for him. Like, there's lust there, but obviously it's much more than that.
More than that.
And I feel like she's not mentally prepared to deal with. It's not like, because she's talked about this earlier in the story. Like, if it was another male, she would just
banged it out.
Yeah, she would have just done that. But like, this different.
One was different.
It's different.
And there is a time, I know I've talked about this before. There is a time when you meet someone where it's like, oh, this is different. And I don't know if it's like, oh, whoa, this is like a much bigger step when you actually like have feelings for someone and you haven't banged yet.
Yeah, I've
only done it once, and it's the person I'm married to. So don't worry. I'm not.
Me too.
Yeah, I know you did. Natalie, she told me, she goes, we waited 16 months time. And I was like, I am very proud of you. You have to really get to know. It's a year and 4 months. That is the secret amount of time that you need to get to know somebody before you bed them. And Natalie taught me that.
When your relationship can drive.
Yes.
That's when you have sex.
Wait, 16 years? Wait a second. Wait.
No. Every month represents
a year. Which represents a year. Okay, great.
That's, everyone knows that.
Hunt smiled slowly, as if he knew precisely why she'd swallowed, but lay back on the pillows, his wings sprawled beneath him. A predator content to wait for his prey to come to him. Fucking hell. But Hunt winked at her, tucking an arm behind his head. The motion made the muscles down his biceps ripple. His eyes glittered, as if he was well aware of that, too.
Hell yes. Woo! Yeah, I don't have that level of discipline.
No, nay.
I love that he, made his muscle flex.
Just right above his head. Oh, my God, don't.
Especially because she's basically saying he's also acknowledging what just happened and being like, yeah, sure, I'll wait.
Yeah, all right. Because he's letting her lead because he knows that she's I know they both have trauma, but I appreciate the fact that, in this instance, he's like, I am waiting for you, babe. I'll be here. I ain't going nowhere.
But I'm gonna flirt with you on your bed. We go to a brief Hunt POV at the end of this chapter that takes place moments later in her room, and he's mulling over the acceptance of the friendship from Bryce. It mattered to him, though he's well aware the word doesn't really address the entirety of what was occurring between them. Friendship, that is.
Yeah, friendship. Yeah.
The two of them watch trash show after trash show, and Hunt feels content and happy.
And wasn't that the most dangerous thing he'd ever done?
That's crazy, because he's done a lot of dangerous things before.
He kills a lot. He takes them weapons and he goes bang, bang. It's no good.
But this is more dangerous. Opening your heart.
Matters a lot.
There's no gun inside your heart.
No.
Cavity.
And if there is, you should probably see a doctor, because I don't think it's supposed to be there.
Don't think so. Even though Ember begs Bryce to take the Medwitch appointment she's made her the next day, Bryce ignores all of the texts her mom is sending her at the start of chapter 58. She has other plans this day, and they involve tracking down Synth. She and Hunt are in the meat market. Well, Bryce decided to go to the meat market, and then Hunt is relegated into following her.
Yes.
He doesn't want her to. He wants her to go to the doctor.
Of course he does. He's the one that brought it up in the first place. And I also love how fast Ember jumped on that. That she was not fucking around. She's like, no, I'm making you one, and I got you one for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a mom in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's not doing that. She wants to get on top of, because now they know a little bit about synth. She wants to find out what the fuck's up with it. We've learned that it is this powerful drug that they believe came from a medical facility, Redner Industries, and that somehow it became street level. Like, people are taking it in bad doses, which is something we deal with in the real world all the time. And so, and when they take it in massive doses, it can become really bad for you, but it gives you like a real good feeling.
Sounds like a lot of fun. I'm not saying that.
I know, I agree.
I would definitely try it. I mean, if it was offered to me,
I'd be too scared.
Try it.
Be too scared to like it too much.
A little bit, just like to feel the power coursing through your body.
So now she's like, well, the first place I would think of to look for a synth would be the meat market, where all the,
the villains
illicit
hang
drugs
out.
happen.
Yes.
The villains hang out. And so, he's chasing after her, kind of going, we should be doing the Medwitch appointment. Why aren't you doing this? But she's gone back to snapping at him to stay out of her business. Not in like a real anger way, but she's just like, I can't be bothered right now. Hunt is not having it. He's trying a different approach than before. So even though he's agreed to go to the meat market with her, he's still sort of trying to reason with her about going to the doctor or the Medwitch before, because he's got a case of the feelings now. Before, he was sort of just flippant with her and kind of gruff and irritated. And now he's like, I guess I need to consider her feelings.
And I do also wonder if these are tactics that he learned through many, many years of torturing people, that I feel like that he's like now using in like a love way, where he's like, oh, I can try it in different ways. A little bit, right? Because it's like, well, I don't think he's had a lot of something tells me that Shahar may have not been the most like
emotionally
loving,
available,
open person. So I imagine he didn't learn it there, right?
Well, no, and we'll find out a little bit more about his mom, but it seems like that probably he did get raised with love in that way. But
oh God,
oh
God.
But yeah, I guess what you're referencing is like something that you can go through in the Earth human world, where you go through something bad, it's like you process it and you grow as a person, or you become shut down and more toxic and then become sort of like a shitty person. So I guess you're saying like all of the stuff he went through, he processed and learned how to like develop into a more well-rounded person.
Exactly. And like use it for a benefit rather than just, I mean, I guess it is a benefit if your end goal is torture and getting information from someone. So I guess technically that is effective. But I just, I find it interesting that for someone that has not had a lot of relationships, that he is so good at navigating her feelings. Because like you said, this is the first time he's trying to like deal with her feelings.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to do any of that shit.
And so he does offer this hey, I know you're trying to say, like, I can take care of myself, but he's not trying to get into her business. He's offering reasonable concern. Though they haven't discussed a relationship between the two of them, they both seem to understand that it's on the horizon in some way, even if they're not like outwardly saying it.
Yeah.
He points out that she probably wouldn't want some boyfriend or mate that just gets dragged around by the nose and doesn't have opinions.
Right.
Implying that it's him.
Right.
Which, okay, we're here. She doesn't seem fazed by him bringing this up, though. He also mentions, like, hey, even though Randall's a tough guy, the dad you respect so much and voices his opinions and is protective of her and Ember, he's not some bullish meathead, right?
Let me take care of you.
And she's not disagreeing with him. She's, I think, still very irritated that he's showing her a point.
I get you, bitch. I see you. I was strong. I'm still strong, but I was definitely the person for most of my life that was like, I don't need your fucking help. Don't try to fucking help me. Don't look to me. I am not weak in any way, shape, or form. And then it just took the right relationship for me to think, oh, that's not being weak. Like being able to rely on someone else and be vulnerable. And
it takes strength.
It takes strength, Natalie. It takes strength.
So she's kind of a little bit accepting this reason. But then she also kind of pushes back. She points out that her mom didn't have good experiences with males before this man came along in her life, this Randall. Hunt knows this. And she also has he's like kind of also processing, she has a strong father figure, so he better not be fucking around either. Like, he is also respecting Randall in this situation. Right. Bryce accentuates this by revealing that her dad was in fact so protective of her that she didn't go on a single date until she was at CCU. Not to mention the human boys were terrified of Randall.
Could you imagine? Like this like great fighter that did so much that just like famous sharpshooter. How do you date the daughter of that person?
But it doesn't seem like he did the toxic dad thing where he's
not.
Like,
he's Randall.
I'm gonna bring a shotgun in and dates to come along.
No, it's just
he taught her how to defend herself.
Yes, he did. And I think that his career predates. I can't think of the words. My brain just stopped working. Everybody knows who he is.
Everybody, time for a nap.
He's a war hero.
Everyone go to sleep.
Okay.
We'll take a podcast 15-minute nap. We'll be silent and we'll come right back. So Hunt
sit in silence, just sitting here, just silently sitting here in our costumes. Don't look at me, Natalie. It's our 15 minutes of silence, Natalie.
Yes. So through this discussion about her time as a, teenager growing up, Hunt's making her blush with come-ons throughout this, being like, I wouldn't have kept me away.
Yeah.
And she brushes him off and points out that her tall Fae stature and Fae ears made her too different to the boys anyway, so it didn't matter. As they fake peruse the stalls, trying to sort of suss out the space, and they talk, they're kind of just pretending like they're shopping. And they pass by a stall selling pretty stones. Hunt speaks with the seller, and the seller gives him a description of what each stone can do. You can think of like a new age shop. And she says that the stone of Opal, that like the opal looking stone that she's selling, is supposed to represent joy or supposed to bring you joy. And he buys one and then turns and puts it in Bryce's palm. You could use some joy,
Hunt said quietly. Something bright sparked in her chest.
So could you,
she said, attempting to press the opal back into his palm. But Hunt stepped away.
It's a gift. Oh my God, he got her a present.
He got her a little present, guys.
We cut to Hunt's POV, and he's chastising himself for being so clunky at the courting ritual.
Which is even cuter. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's trying. He doesn't know how to date somebody.
No, it's very cute. He recalls that he hasn't thought about buying a female a gift in about 200 years.
Yeah, 200 years of you killing and torturing people. So it's like, it's okay that you're rusty there, bud.
So he's thankful that Bryce accepted it and seems quietly pleased and didn't kind of mock him for like his awkwardness. He thinks about how it would have gone if he had done this for Shahar and decides at the time it would have seemed trivial to both of them. Shahar was rich with jewels already, and both of them were so deeply focused on the rebellion that it kind of just wouldn't have meant anything. And this is not that. And it's not to say that that's bad or wrong, but he just notes the difference of these relationships, that this is a very sentimental moment for him that he probably wouldn't even been thinking about with Shahar.
Well, I feel like it's almost, I don't know anything about war, surprise, but like it makes me
Jackie,
I know.
War Battle Hawk,
you think
Zabrowski?
Yes, that is my middle name, and thank you for using all of it. War Battle Hawk, thank you.
Yeah.
But it kind of reminds me of like, I feel like what he had with like what Hunt had with Shahar was like a showmance of sorts, but how does that apply to a war? Like a warmance, where it's like they were both so like together in their convictions and what they were fighting for that created a type of love. But I do feel like this is the first real love since his mother that Hunt has really experienced.
If you don't know what a showmance is, it happens a lot with like cast and crew working on a long project together, that there might be this really passionate
like Ariana Grande and SpongeBob.
Oh no, they're still going strong.
Oh, they're still going. I bet you it's going to be done by the end of part 2. Once part 2 comes out, I bet it'll be over.
All right, it's the gamuts, the gauntlet's been laid down. That's what that's called. But a lot of times those really passionate relationships happen because you were literally on almost a commune-like situation on set.
Yes.
And so these weird connections start happening. And then when the set's wrapped, you kind of realize like, oh, we don't actually have like anything in common. And so it could be like that with he and Shahar never really got to have a normal relationship. And
so like they never went to the movies together. You know what I mean?
They were like building battle formations. I don't know how you prepare for.
I thought you were like in my brain. I was like the things that like the things catapults.
Oh, maybe
I imagine they were building.
Maybe they were building catapults.
Again, War Battle Hawk, and also yes, we've got old I don't know, Fights McScared.
Yeah, Fights McScared over here
because she's scared. You're scared of her.
You better be scared of me.
So intimidating.
So, yeah, we don't know if they ever would have had a war. I mean, it sounds like it was a warmance.
But I don't know if that happened. I don't know if that's the thing.
Probably. I mean, I imagine that happens with like, battalion. What are they called?
We can't even discuss it. We know nothing about it.
I'm sorry if we love you. We appreciate you, veterans. If you're listening, veterans, we love you.
Thank you. Thank you for knowing it so we don't have to.
But I imagine if you're in another country serving the country, the America.
In it together.
Probably stuff comes up, and then when it's over, you're like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I'm going to go continue on with my life.
Yeah. So they move. She takes the opal, and he's thinking about it. He's like, that was really awkward, but I did it, and she took it. Great. So they move along. They're still kind of fake perusing, and they move along to another booth with a teenage girl working who says that she's watching the booth for her mom. Bryce has the realization she may not be young anymore when she tries to rap with the teen. Hello, fellow child. How do you do? Can a cool cat score some sick happening lit drugs around here?
Oh my God, you must be one of them there youths I've heard about.
Yeah.
Wow. Can a cool cat score a happening drug?
So she does sound like a narc, and the teen is like, what do you want? Like, you're obviously, like, literally everyone in the market is on a chat saying you're being shady and weird, so just, like, tell me what you want. And Bryce is sort of stunned by this revelation. She thinks she's really slick, and she generally is, but it is very funny that it's a teenager that can really, like, see through all her bullshit. She's like, okay. So Bryce is like, okay, fine. What do you know about synth? The unimpressed teen barely looks up from her phone to tell Bryce that the Viper Queen doesn't mess with that stuff. It's not a moral issue. It's that it's too risky to earn the, quote, reward of it. Bryce realizes in this moment that the kid is actually texting with the Viper Queen as they're talking. And the kid then relays the message from the Viper Queen that just was sent to her. Go talk to the river folk if you want to know about synth.
Uh-oh, go knocking on Mr. Ab's doors over here.
Yeah, I never sell no synth.
Homie, it's underneath my abs.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know what makes an ab. I guess it's a muscle, but what if you're just full up of drugs?
I guess you could just put some ab implants in.
That's what I'm saying. I'm puffed with drug.
Oh, so my abs are pockets of drugs.
Dude.
Cool.
A slice. Say, let me at it. Suck it from your chest.
Oh, God. We need to end this episode.
I'm sorry. I won't suck it from your chest.
Shortly after this, Hunt is chasing after Bryce as she speed walks towards the river's edge, waiting for Therian to appear after quickly sending an otter his way. So as soon as she gets this information, she's not waiting. She sends an otter out to Therian and she starts immediately walking to the water. And Hunt's like trying to stop her, being like, we need to be more diplomatic about this. We need to like figure out how to like approach this situation. And she's like, I'm not waiting any longer. He doesn't want her to go accusing a potential ally, but Bryce is not waiting for bureaucracy.
Bryce is going to do what Bryce is going to do.
She clarifies that she's not necessarily accusing Therian of doing this, but that he might know about it and has kept this from them, even though he agreed to help on the mission. They wait for him at the edge of the docks in the gross part of the river outside the meat market. Therian appears quickly, his arrogant grin fading as Bryce demands to know what he knows about synth. Hunt again tries to interject, but Therian doesn't actually get defensive. He only says, no, synth isn't in the river, it's on the river. So he knows about what's going on. If she's stunned, she doesn't show it, only continues to question. Is it from the drug company? Who is dealing it on the streets? Hunt again tries to stop her, but he's cut off by Therian. Danika Fendir,
Therian said, his eyes soft, like he knew who Danika had been to her.
The intel came in a day before her death. She was spotted doing a deal on a boat just past here.
Danika! How much else do we know about our best friend?
Therian has just revealed that Danika Fendir was the one dealing synth on the river.
Dude, it's like every little thing is another huge stab into Bryce, too. Like that, it's just how much of everything she learns about Danika that just opens up such a world of what she didn't know about her best friend.
Yeah, so this is only a couple of chapters this episode, but I wanted to end this here because we're going to launch into a whole nother section coming up, and why not leave you on a little cliffhanger?
This is such a good cliffhanger. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Especially hitting the end of this book. It just goes.
Yeah, we're getting close, guys. We're like 70% of the way through book 1. And I can't believe we get an episode that was only an hour. That was kind of impressive.
Oh my God.
Wow. Barely were yapping.
Yeah, man. Sometimes I guess I got molassy lips over here, and you better go and get off.
I don't even understand what you're talking about.
I guess I had molasses all over my lips.
Oh, I thought you were saying Lassie like the dog.
Oh, yeah. I'm throwing kids down the well.
That's not what Lassie did.
Oh.